What's going on, guys? It's Coach Christian here at SixPack Abs, and today I'm going to show you guys the do's and don'ts for getting a wider, thicker back, really targeting those lats, okay? So I got an email from my client. He was showing me how he does his barbell rows, his lat pull down, and then a little bit of pull-ups. So I just want to show you guys the right way to do these specific exercises, so that way we can really start to get a thicker back. So first and foremost, when you get set up, you always want to make sure your feet are squared, hips are squared. Never round at the back and pick the bar up like this. So what we want to do here, square up, get your knees squared up, bend at the legs, make sure your hip bone is pointed out, almost like if you're getting set up for a deadlift. You shrug the arms down. That way we make sure that we get everything ready. Your scapula is in the right position that you want, and of course we're making sure that our shoulders are safe when we're doing this. So we're gonna shrug down. Now, the next do and don't. I see a lot of people when they're doing their rows, they don't have their core engaged and they're rounding like this and they're doing their rows with their chest too high up and their tailbone pointed down. So do point your hip bone back towards the wall. So we're gonna hinge, and if you notice, that butt bone is pointing directly back behind me towards the wall. So I don't want you to round and point that tailbone down to the floor, point it out. Now, whenever we're starting to do the actual row motion, do make sure that your chest is down. You don't want to be up here, because then we're going to involve too much of your upper back and even start to really irritate your lower back muscles. So we're going to get your chest down, make sure that we're able to feel a good stretch to begin with on the lats. So we're going to start off here. Do retract your scapula. Don't use too much bicep where we're not retracting our shoulder blades and we're just doing a short movement like this. So do retract and then pull. Don't use too much bicep and not retract the scapula and just do little movements like this. You're going to end up hurting your forearms, probably even irritate the biceps and use way too much bicep and not enough lat. So on the last part of the movement, make sure that our chest is down, we're stretching, we retract, and then we pull. If you're going for that hypertrophy, really trying to build the muscle, don't just do a quick rep like this. I want you to retract, you're stretching, you retract, and then you row towards the belly button and you squeeze 1 to 2 seconds. Then you're gonna stretch it down. Same thing, repeat. Retract, and then row. Make sure you squeeze those lats for 1 to 2 seconds. Then stretch it out, and you're done. All right, guys, that's the barbell row. Now, let's go over to the lat pull down. I'll show you a little bit of some tips on how to improve that movement as well, okay? Now that I showed you some of the barbell row, I'm going to take you over to our lat pull down, and I'm going to show you some of the do's and don'ts for this movement, and also go over some of the common mistakes that I see people making when they're in the gym. So first and foremost, make sure that when you're coming up to this lat pull down, you know what you want to target. Are you trying to target the upper lats, or are you trying to target the lower lats? For this video specifically, I want to show you guys how to make sure that we're targeting the lower lats. So for our grip here, we're not coming real wide like you see most people doing for the lat pull down. We're bringing that grip in just a little bit more, a little bit closer together, a little bit more of a narrow grip, not too narrow, so we're not here, somewhere in between, you know, this wide grip, so right about here. Now, the next thing is, I see a lot of people when they're rowing, they're flaring their elbows out like this. So don't do that. Do tuck your elbows in. That way we can really get a good, not only stretch, but a good contraction of these lower lats right here. So let's go ahead and show you a few reps. That way we can really see what we're doing here. So make sure that we're not sitting too close to your cable right here. Make sure that you're scooting back just a little bit to where we can get really good stretch on that lat muscle. So we're gonna start off here. I want you to retract. Don't just start pulling down like this. We're gonna involve way too much bicep. So what I want you to do is retract the scapula. Remember, we're tucking the elbows in, and you pull down. Right here, we should really be taking advantage of that time under tension by squeezing and tucking those elbows in. So that should be at least 1 to 2 seconds. Now, we're stretching, we're controlling the weight on the way up. What I don't want to see you doing is, just doing this here, because then we're not really doing much of anything at all except letting the weight, control our momentum. So we're gonna come up here, we're gonna stretch, we're gonna retract, pull down, tuck those elbows in, make sure we're squeezing the lats, and slowly bring it up, control the movement. Full stretch, retract, tuck the elbows in, and pull down, squeeze those lats 1 to 2 seconds. That way we're getting the time under tension, but more importantly, we're controlling the weight. So retract, bring it down, and squeeze those lats. I guarantee you guys, if we do our reps this way, you're not gonna feel it in the neck, or you're not gonna feel it in the rotator cuff. You're really gonna start to feel it down here in these lower lats. That way we can really start to get that thicker back. Now also, you may be able to get more quality reps doing it this way. So maybe cutting it down from 15 to 10 reps by slowing down the tempo and making sure that we're doing it right. That way we can really start to add that muscle. All right, guys? I hope these tips help. If you have any other questions with coaching, workouts, nutrition, make sure to click that link below. It'll take you straight to our Platinum Coaches page. All right, guys? Have a good one.